This is Talkback 721-1290 or 1-800-568-5309.
This is Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and 98.3 FM. KGVO, Missoula's news and weather station.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the post-election edition of Talkback this morning for this Wednesday, November 6th. Talkback this morning is brought to you by Phillips Janitorial. No job too big or small for Phillips. For residential and commercial, your home and your business, call 406-260-6617. Y West Storage is out at the Y on Two Smokes Way. If you need storage, their number 406-510-0590. They are making room for you at Y West. 123 Seamless Gutters is family owned and operated with gutter installations and more. 406-240-2669, protecting the foundation of your future. And by Harrington Surgical Supply, where you can feel confident in their discreet and knowledgeable guidance on a multitude of products and medical supplies.
The views and opinions expressed on Talkback are not those of the staff, management, or advertisers.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good to have you along this morning on this day after Election Day. That is Mr. Nick Christensen. Good morning, Mr. Nick.
Good morning, Peter.
Wow, what a night last night. Yeah,
I'm still recovering.
It was a biggie. And we do already have a caller on the line, and wouldn't you know, it's Troy Downing. Troy is our new congressman from the Eastern District. Troy, good morning and congratulations, sir.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me. It was an exciting night last night. I got to tell you, just watching, well, especially on the top of the ticket, seeing those votes coming in, those electoral votes for President Trump. This was a great night. I was talking to somebody earlier. How it warms my heart to see so many folks lining up in bad weather to vote yesterday. Really showed that people are paying attention again, and they want to take this country back. And the fact that we got Trump across the finish line, we got Sheehy across the finish line, we got Zinke across the finish line, we got me across the finish line. I think the people have spoken, and I'm really, really excited to see that level of participation again.
So your plans now that you won, it's are you going to hit the ground running?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to do everything I can. I want to congratulate Jim Brown on winning, the race to be my successor as the state auditor. So we're going to make sure that, we're handing off the baton at a full sprint. So he's got everything he needs to be successful. And then we've already been, speaking to my colleagues in D.C., make sure they know that, Montana is sending 3 combat vets to D.C. here in a couple of weeks, and just want to make sure we hit the ground running. We've got a lot of problems in front of us, a lot of issues in front of us, and having that trifecta gives us the ability to actually, roll up our sleeves and start working for the American people, make sure we start clawing back a lot of these bad policies that we're inheriting from the Biden-Harris administration. And I got to tell you, it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm really excited about getting it done.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for calling this morning.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, it's an exciting time for us.
All right, thanks, Troy. Best of luck, and get some sleep. Right. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, well, that's next week.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
We'll talk later.
You bet. Let's get some more callers on, because it's kind of political open phones, post-election open phones this morning. Emmett is up next. Emmett, good morning, sir. You are on Talkback. What's up?
Oh, thank you for taking my call. Well, I said my prayers. I woke up. I did not know last night, because I had kind of woken up to get some water, and I did not know whether Trump would make it to the finish line. But what I did last night have to at least put on some headphones and play the Return of the Jedi theme music, because I thought probably Trump would clinch it. Well, after saying my morning prayers, I turned on TV, and Donald Trump has won it by 276, and this is a wonderful day for America. And it looks like we're going to take back the House. We've taken back the Senate. I think we've gotten our America back. I think this is a day to rejoice in the Lord. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, because I was afraid Kamala was going to win. You
were distraught about it yesterday.
Yeah. The way the television, the CNN, and everyone that had projected it looked like it was so close it could have been Kamala. And the inflation, can you imagine paying $10 for a loaf of bread, $10 a pound for just regular hamburger meat, that kind of thing? Our grocery stores could have gone out of business. A restaurant, everything. This could have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
She would have restricted free speech. And I just have a big burning question, though. I'm really also paying attention to those not the other races, but the ballot initiatives. CI 126, 7, and 128. Did they pass or fail?
The 126 and 127 passed. 128 failed. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got that wrong.
Yeah.
126 and 127 failed.
Correct.
And then 128 passed.
As of right now.
Yeah.
Nothing has been official yet.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, as of right now.
Yeah, they won't be official until the canvass, which won't take place for a while.
Hey, Nancy, I'll put you on.
Well, that's really sad that people have enshrined abortion into law. If that's a very kind of a sad downer. That is very sad.
Well,
I'm glad CI 126 and 127 have failed. We've got to pray about the abortion issue. But anyway, thank God. We can all thank God for this victory.
All right, gotcha. Emmett, we're past the break. We're going to come right back. By the way, the phones are open. This is your day. If you want to talk about the election and your candidates win, lose, draw, whatever, this is a chance to get it out of your system. And give us a call. It's 721-1290 is our number. We're coming right back with Dave and Nancy, and hopefully you right after this.
Need top.
Dennis Bragg with your weather. Mostly sunny after a very cold start on Wednesday morning as we eventually warm to a chilly 38 degrees. But then for the rest of the week, some crisp mornings and cool days with sun as high pressure establishes over the northern Rockies. Thursday, another cold start with lows in the lower 20s, the upper teens in the outlying areas. And we begin to see some increasing clouds Friday evening with clouds and sun, and then an increasing chance of rain during the Grizz game Saturday night. Rain and snow back on Sunday.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
Hey, we are back. This is Talk Back, and it's time to get cathartic and give you a chance to talk about what happened last night with the election. Happy, sad, ambivalent, whatever, or maybe you just don't know what happened yet. But we do have some results, of course. I just want you to know I've got the official. Do you have that stuff right there?
Yeah, I got them up here too. So just looking at statewide voting, obviously. Montana voted 59% for President Donald Trump. I think they called that at 8:02. I think most for Donald Trump. But yeah, looking at the numbers currently as they stand now, and there shouldn't be too much of a shift based on votes that are in. Tim Sheehy is ahead of John Tester, 53% to 45%, almost over 40,000 votes. As Troy Downey mentioned, Ryan Zinke, he's 53% to Monica Trinnell's 44%. That's about 23,000 vote lead. Troy Downing, 66% to 34% against his opponent. If we look statewide here, Governor Gianforte, they called that race super early. Yeah. He's at 60% to Ryan Bussey's 38%.
And Bussey did concede. I saw his letter.
Got it. Secretary of State Christy Jacobson, 62% against her opponent there, so that's locked up. Attorney General Austin Knudsen's at 60%, locked up. State Auditor James Brown, who's been on the show a couple times, he's at 62%. State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Susie Hedelin, 60%. Clerk of the Supreme Court, Bowen Greenwood, 57%. Let's see. Got to move to my next one here. Public Service Commission, Brad Molnar in District 2. He's at 60%. District 3, Jeff Wellborn, Republican, 62%. District 4, our district here in Missoula, Jennifer Fielder, 54% to 45%. let's see, what are some other big ones? Obviously, we talked about the ballot issues. CI 126 as of now is 52% no. CI 127 as of now, 61% no. CI 128 is 57% yes. Trying to think if there's any huge ones that I'm missing. There's obviously some local Missoula races that I'll pull up here in a minute. But, for now, those are the big ones. So for those of you that kind of lean on us to get the results and those numbers, that's where they stand right now. Again, nothing's completely official yet, but that's at least where we're sitting. So.
I will say this, though. I think it's rather interesting that neither Senator Tester nor Kamala Harris has actually conceded yet. And that's
not super unlikely for it being this early. I mean, the numbers obviously are pretty clear that it's not probably going to swing that other way, but you just want to be really sure about these things, obviously. And so I mean, I understand that, people are probably waiting, and I mean, we've been waiting this long. People probably just want to move on, get the results. We're like, come on, we know they're not going to change. But, I mean, what's another, 12 hours or a day or whatever to make it official? So,
in a race like Tester versus Sheehy, it was such a bitterly fought and bitterly contested election that neither side, I'm sure, was going to just say, "Oh yeah, give up and go home," and all that. So I'm sure that there'll be challenges. But anyway,
with votes still out there, I mean that's the thing. That race, I mean, obviously it looks very much like she's going to win, but it's not completely over. There's still votes to be counted. So.
All right, let's get some calls on. Dave is first. Dave, thank you for holding. Go ahead, please. What's up?
Yeah, good morning. I'm not surprised by the results of the election, but I am pleased that we're not going to have a civil war. I mean, I really believe that Donald Trump, if he had come out on the losing end of this, would have triggered a civil war because he would not have accepted it. But, I mean, as far as his future as president, people say he's a flawed person, but I've studied his life and what he has accomplished and done in his life, and he lives by a different code. He lives outside the law. He uses the law, abuses the law, and ignores the law when it fits his desires. And if he carries that through as president and decides that the Constitution or the laws of the land are to be ignored and abused, we're in for a bad time. So it's just a matter of what kind of president will he be? Will he follow the laws, which is rare when he was a person, private citizen? It's going to be interesting.
Well, Dave, it's always good to know that you're consistent with your thoughts about Mr. Trump. We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Well, you want to hear his life and all the things he's done.
I know.
I mean,
he's
26 times.
He is a flawed man, like all of us, Dave. We're all flawed, okay?
Yeah, the laws of the land don't mean anything to him, personally.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the call. We're going to come right back. Nancy, Rick, and Kevin, and Lisa are all waiting to weigh in. We're going to come right back. 721-1290 is our number. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
With KGRZ Sports, I'm Ace Sauerwein with your daily update, brought to you by Republic Services. The Montana Lady Grizz come up empty in Spokane last night, falling against the Gonzaga Bulldogs 82-69.
Waddington open three, finds it. 3:38 to go. Waddington catches. What a find from Koenig. Koenig to Waddington. Congratulations to Avery Waddington's first collegiate points at UM.
The freshman from Coeur d'Alene, Avery Waddington, had a fantastic night off the bench, playing 21 minutes, scoring 13 points, going 6 of 10 from the floor, collecting 5 rebounds as well. Doing all of it in front of about 20 fans, friends and family that made the drive over to Spokane. The next time out for the Lady Grizz will be this Sunday afternoon. They take on Southeastern University, an NAIA school, at 3 p.m. And finally, Grizzly Soccer collected some postseason awards. Goalkeeper Bayless Flynn was named Goalkeeper of the Year, and Jen Estes was named Co-Offensive MVP. That's a look at sports. I'm Ace Sauerwein.
We are maxing out our phone lines, folks, and you guys are awesome. Let's get right back to it. It's the day after Election Day, and people want to talk about it. Nancy, go ahead. You're on Talkback. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Well, good morning, Glory, Patriots. It's been a very, very emotional morning for me. I've been up since 2:30 a.m. I am absolutely delighted and relieved that Donald J. Trump is going to be our president again for the next 4 years. And I just can't tell you how I feel. I am just overwhelmed with emotion. I have such hope for us now as a country. I believe that in 2025, it's going to be a banner year for all of us. And I want to tell everyone who voted, thank you very much, because we are a self-governing nation, and it is our duty to go out and vote for and elect those who represent us. So God bless all of you, and Peter and Nick, thank you for everything you've done to keep people here in Montana informed. You've had, all the candidates on your show, and your coverage, and even today giving us a voice. So thank you, and God bless America, and God bless all of you patriots.
Nancy, thanks for the call.
Nancy.
Appreciate that. Very, we're blushing right now, actually, both of us. All right, let's get to Rick on the line. Rick, good morning. You're on Talkback, sir. It's the day after Election Day. What's up?
Hey, thanks, Peter. Were you out and about in Missoula last night at any polling stations?
I was at the election center over on Russell Street. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for being who you and Nick are, as far as you try to show some impartiality when it comes to politics. I lean conservative, and it was really amazing last night. I was flipping to every station I could find that had election coverage, including MSNBC. And I find it just, the media will never learn, especially the pundits at MSNBC. The moment it went to 270, all they could start talking about was fascism, how our future president is still colluding with Putin. And when will they learn? Seems like yesterday was a mandate, at least one of the biggest ones I've seen in my 67 years of watching politics. When will the media learn to quit using the old tried and true fascism? Democracy is being threatened. Do you have any idea? And do you know why that they do this?
They're playing to their base because that's where the money is. The corporations that own those entities,
networks,
the networks, and the newspapers and whatever it might be, are very powerful. And when they hand down talking points to the folks who are in front of the camera, they had better toe the line or they'll be out of a job.
Well, I don't necessarily believe in everything that Fox says, but Fox thrashes CNN and MSNBC. And so I would think their base would get really tired of being thrashed as bad. I think this is a case, I think they choose ideology over politics. I think they want our country to be something other than what it is so bad that they can taste it.
Well, thank you for the call, sir. Go ahead, Rick. Finish your point.
No, I'm done. You're going to have a lot of people.
All right. Thank you so much for your call. Kevin is up next. Kevin, good morning. You're on Talkback, sir. What's up?
Well, good morning, everybody. I want to recite the last chorus of this song, get everybody in a better mood. Happy days are here again. The skies above are clear again. So let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy times, happy nights, happy days are here again. I'm just glad that we had sent a message with this historical red wave, and the message is enough is enough. No more clown show, no more misbehaving, nobody throwing no more temper tantrums. The circus is closed. Well, no more clowning around.
I understand that, but here's what happens when you get a mandate. First of all, the House is still up for grabs. Okay, the White House and the Senate are in control of Republicans now, but it's not a huge majority. And so what the people that we've elected are going to have to do, they're going to have to go to Washington and govern. They're going to have to work their butts off to get us out of the place where we're at right now and not just sit back and say, hey, we won, yay. It's time to get to work. You know, he said that in his acceptance speech last night. There's a lot of work to do, and so people who won in this election just have to put their noses to the grindstone and work and be grateful that people chose them.
Well, and I think the number one is they need to implement the use of common sense. And what the people of America wants, we're going to show the world right now of how the diplomatic process works here, and you got to remember, it's we the people.
Amen. All right. Thank you for the call.
Okay.
We
Have
appreciate
a good day, guys.
Yeah, let's get Lisa on before we need to take a commercial break. The phone lines are lighting up, and we appreciate it so much for all of our listeners. Lisa, good morning. You're on Talkback, ma'am. What's up?
Well, good morning. I'm, first of all, very relieved when I got up this morning and looked at the number 277. I was just saying, praise the Lord. And then I was thinking about these people that still cannot give up on fascism, and maybe Trump might be still a Hitler and doing this and that. When I was listening here a couple of weeks ago on an interview on one of the other stations with Trump, he made it very clear that if he loses, he definitely is not going to run in 28. So, which tells me the 4 years that he has will be enough for him, and he will retire. And the other thing I wanted to ask is, I have not heard anything on the outcome on Mr. Wilson, Dan Wilson, the judge, and Corey Swanson.
Yep.
I don't know if they won.
Bittigary.
On the news.
I was just going to say that Bittigary defeated Dan Wilson. Is that correct?
They're standing.
Yeah, so Lisa, as of right now, Corey Swanson is leading with 54% of the vote, and Catherine Bittigary is leading with 53% of the vote. So split there. Obviously, those are nonpartisan seats, but we kind of know.
Yeah. In other words, Mr. Wilson is not leading.
No, it does not look like Mr. Wilson's going to win. He's losing by 35,000 votes.
Okay. Well, anyhow, thank you. And finally, my blood pressure can come back down to normal again.
Well, it was a delight having you in the studio, and we appreciate your listening and calling. You have a wonderful day, ma'am. Thank you. We're gonna come right back. Walt, Jerry, Tim, Susan, Wingnut, and you too. We do have phone lines open. We're running out, but we're going to be here till 10 o'clock this morning. It is open phones. This is your opportunity to vent, to get it off your chest, to celebrate. Just give us a call. We'll be right back after this.
Dennis Bragg with your weather. Mostly sunny after a very cold start on Wednesday morning as we eventually warm to a chilly 38 degrees. But then for the rest of the week, some crisp mornings and cool days with sun as high pressure establishes over the northern Rockies. Thursday, another cold start with lows in the lower 20s, the upper teens in the outlying areas. And we begin to see some increasing clouds Friday evening with clouds and sun, and then an increasing chance of rain during the Grizz game Saturday night. Rain and snow back on Sunday.
I'm Ben Affleck, and I want to thank you for joining me and supporting Paralyzed Veterans of America.
I joined the Navy to serve my country. While parachuting with my platoon, my parachute didn't open, and I broke my neck.
Thanks to PVA, paralyzed veterans are getting specialized medical care and treatments, the jobs they want, and the accessible vehicles and homes they need.
I just don't think my family would be as happy as they are without the support that I received from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Learn more at PVA.org.
Okay, we are back on Talkback. Open phones the day after Election Day, and people are venting and talking about what happened last night. So let's get Walt on the line. Walt, good to hear your voice, sir. What's on your mind?
Well, yeah, sorry, I had to go yesterday to a meeting, and I couldn't talk. But I just want to say this, that in Trump's election last night, here's a partial list of his opponents in the election. First, progressives. Second, Democrats. Third, the legacy media. Fourth, big tech. Fifth, the NSA, CIA, FBI, and Department of Justice. Sixth, rhinos. 7, lawfare. 8, at least 2 assassination attempts. 9, several courts. 10, billionaires like George Soros and similar people. And 11, he had a raid on his residence. So, I mean, there's other opponents that he had in the election, but those are some of the big ones. I find it interesting that some people like to indicate that they have facts on Donald Trump, such as he lives outside the law. But I think that's more opinion than facts, because if he lived outside the law, how can he do that without being put in jail? Or, I mean, he's been in court more times than you can shake a stick at.
Well, he's got a mugshot.
If he was in court,
he's arrested, got a mugshot.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a mugshot, but even that is not settled yet. And so anyway, I just had to speak my piece. Thank you.
Walt, it's always a pleasure to hear your voice. Looking forward to have you back in the studio, sir, for our regular visits. Thanks, Walt.
You bet.
Take care, buddy. All right, thank you. All right, let's get Jerry on the line next. Jerry, good morning. You are on Talkback. Thank you so much for holding, sir. What's up?
Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I'm going to dedicate my comments this morning to the individual I have nicknamed the Snake Lady. I am sick and tired of all of the negative campaigning that the Democrats seem to use against their opponents. None of it works in Montana, especially for Zinke and Shealy. They're both honored SEALs who have dedicated a lifetime of service to serving this country. And it reminds me of my time in Vietnam, since I'm a Vietnam vet, that I dedicated some years to serving this country. And the Democrats seem to want to demean everything. Well, campaigning does not work in Montana, because we know the value of having good people. And that's my comments for this morning.
Thank you so much. Very, very, very well put. We appreciate it, sir. I believe, let me get Tim on the line here. Push this button. Good morning, Colonel Tim. You're on Talkback, sir.
Yes, good morning, Peter and Nick. There's a saying I just want to say I made up last night. I said, we the people have saved the republic. We have saved the country for our children and grandchildren. I want to thank all the patriots, voters, and veterans. I'm really internally joyous, and like a lot of people, I slept well, the few hours I slept, but I'm very happy. There's a couple examples of all those that knocked on doors. For instance, Montana Veterans Association. I've got some stats here: 10,173 doors knocked. 18,000 calls made, 22 Vet Together events, 54 rides to the polls, 187,000 emails, and all the volunteers and staff that worked on these campaigns and events. Like I said, I'm really happy, and I'm glad to hear a lot of people.
Well, I'll tell you what, Colonel Tim, you bring up a very good point, is that every single person who won in a race last night, no matter what's national, state, local, county, whatever, every single one of them, including the various ballot issues that won or lost or whatever, They are standing on the shoulders of people that you just described that went out and knocked on doors, rang doorbells, handed out the leaflets, donated to their candidates. They put themselves in a position to support people they really believed in, to represent them. And now, now the fun starts. Those people need to live up to their promises to the people that supported them.
Yes, exactly. And I think we have a pretty trustworthy bunch that's been elected, and they've got lots of work to do, and they'll do it with a smile and a mandate. Anyway, and one thing I thought about, thinking about the Justice Department federally, and they need a new Attorney General, and we need an absolute bulldog to go after the criminals and the cartels. And one person I thought of was Troy Gowdy, South Carolina senator. Remember when he went after Hillary Clinton?
Right.
Those days. But, yeah, I think he would be a great attorney general. Anyway, I just want to say congratulations to all the winners, and thank you, all you patriots and door knockers.
Thank you so much, Colonel Tim. We're going to take a break. We'll come right back. Susan, we have Wingnut, we have Tom, and we finally have several phone lines open. This is a reaction show for all of our listeners. You've been gathering up all the information about the election. Now the results are in, and you're either really, really happy or really, really upset or whatever. Either way, you can vent on this show. That's what this show's about today. It's all about you. 721-1290 is our number. We're coming right back after this timeout.
Hello, this is Pastor. Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at SCORE.org.
Wow, we are just as busy as we can be with phone calls, and that's what this show is all about today. Your reactions to last night's election, your thoughts, your feelings, positive, negative, reflective, angry, whatever. The phone lines are open at 721-1290. We have Susan standing by. Susan, good morning. You are on Talkback, ma'am. Good to hear your voice.
Well, we had a wonderful party over at the West Side Lanes last night to honor many of the people who did door knocking and phone calling, and about 85 people that showed up. And the Republican Party, as well as the Friends of Candidates in Missoula, worked their heart out. We had, 65,000, I don't even know how many, 100,000 literature drops in Missoula alone. I personally made thousands of phone calls to voters to get out the vote, as did Sherry and other people. I mean, it was just unbelievable, the outpouring of work that was actually done by a very relatively small core of volunteers. But we got the job done. I will say this, though. The only person on the Republican side in Missoula that was elected, who is a dear, dear friend of mine, is Henley Logie. And he is going to the Senate to represent us in Senate District 45. And I want to send a shout out to him. He cannot hear me because his district goes from St. Regis all the way to Lolo, and he lives in St. Regis.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, tell Denley to Denley to get the KGVO app, and he can listen anywhere. But go ahead.
I don't know. Anyway, he's a rancher in St. Regis, but he worked his heart out. I have never seen a candidate so tenacious, and I really, really appreciate him. But I will say that our local candidates really worked hard, and I am heartbroken for them. but not surprised that they lost, sadly, because the redistricting was so unfair and it was lopsided to the Democrats because of the Supreme Court. And Corey Swanson looks like he is going to win, but sadly Dan Wilson is not, which I had predicted. And overall, though, I am joyful that our statewide candidates won. And, of course, I am personally thrilled about Donald John Trump. God bless America.
All right, Susan, thanks for the call. We appreciate it, ma'am. Always a pleasure to hear you. And Wingnut is on the line. Mr. Nutt, you are on Talkback. It's open phone, sir. Go ahead.
Well, good morning. Sadly, my candidate did not win. And I voted for Ron DeSantis as a write-in vote. But knowing full well that where Montana stood on Mr. Trump, or President Trump, when he did not participate in the GOP debates, he lost my vote for whatever that counts. I did vote for him in 2020, and I definitely wish him the best of luck in pushing through some of the policies that he has the opportunity to do. Could be a phenomenal lame duck 4 years that we have if he just puts his foot to the metal and goes for it. I would also say that has anybody heard what Monica Tranel is going? I haven't heard.
Now, you faded out there. Are you wondering what her plans are from here, or what?
I wonder what office she is going to run for next, and maybe Ted can call in and give us a prognostication of what office she's going to be running for next.
I do not know. I know that running twice and the effort that she put into trying to win that House race, and whether you agree or disagree, you've got to admire her tenacity in sticking with it. And but you've lost twice, and now in 2 years, if she wants to run again, she certainly can if she wants to.
And I will say, other than my vote for president, I pretty much cleaned up the bases with the exception of Mr. Wilson, too. So I think we have a real excellent slate of candidates who were elected. So that's my take on it, and let the circus begin.
Mr. Wingnut, thanks for the call. Tom is up next. Tom, good morning. You are on Talkback, sir. What's on your mind?
Oh, good morning, guys. I just wanted to congratulate our fellow Americans that have demonstrated that we can solve our problems by applying the very thinking that created them.
Okay. Thanks for the call.
Is that it?
I guess that's it. All right. Okay. In other words, I have spoken. Yeah. There you go. All right. So, Elena, you are on Talkback, ma'am. What's up?
Oh, I think that last caller hit it right on the head. Perfect. And there's another one, doing the same thing over and over again.
And expecting a different outcome. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm totally, I don't know what you want to call it. I haven't checked all the counties, but I want to say kudos to Ravalli County for voting no to CI 128. And it's very close, but they voted no. I don't know how many other counties voted no, but for the majority, it passed. And I'd love to hear Ron Nadelson when he comes on next month. Also, Jeff Laszloffy when he comes on, Montana Freedom Foundation, because that thing has to be challenged.
Yeah,
the wording of that.
Mr. Laszloffy is the head of the Montana Family Foundation, but go ahead.
Right, Montana Family Foundation, president. And it's going to be challenged because it's exactly like Nadelson said. It's a word salad. There's too many things in it. And the one thing that's left open, which I can't believe people just, it's a great amendment. Person is going to have to be defined. And who's going to define that? The state legislature? Yeah, right. With all those rhinos that we put back in? How about the courts? Oh, yeah. Leave it up to the courts to define person. So I'm really upset about that, definitely. Oh, but, hey, Trump got reelected, and he's going to solve all our problems. Well, the one thing that I'm going to hold his feet to the fire, he said something about doing away with the income tax. I want to see that, Mr. Trump. I said and if I sound unhappy, I certainly am, because we're all upset about the way things have been going along. And what do? We reelect on the state level the same people that allowed this, that went along with it. So maybe Trump is going to be the dictator that he said he's going to be and starts following the Constitution, that we, the people, are the sovereign. On that, thank you.
All right, thanks for the call, Elena. And 721. By the way, all of our phone lines are clear now. If you've been trying to get through and gave up because either the lines were busy or there are too many people in line, you will be first in line if you call right now. 721-1290, 1-800-568-5309. You can also, of course, use the KGVO app, as many of you do. If you haven't downloaded that yet, you can do that. Just go to the App Store, and you can use it immediately. So we're going to come right back with more of Talkback, special edition. These are time for your comments all the way till 10 o'clock this morning about last night's election. If there's one And welcome back to Talk Back. Only about 3.5 minutes or so before we have to take the top of the hour break here, but we have lots of folks waiting on the line. Thank you for filling up the phone lines again. Let's get Candy on first. Candy, good morning. We have got about 3 minutes. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I want to congratulate everybody that won, and I feel so sorry for the people that didn't win in Missoula, because Missoula is a hotbed of whatever. But I'm going to thank Elena for calling in and saying what she said about CI 128, and I think that Montana, if they continue down this road with relishing the blood of the innocent, that God will follow this closely, and we'll be cursed because of it. And that's, I guess, my opinion. And I woke up this morning and I heard that, and I thought, Republicans, conservatives, Christians had to vote for that stuff to be that far up in the election. But I agree with Elena that the situation with the person, that was the most deceptive, evil constitutional amendment on the ballot. And I kudos to Elena for bringing it up. And there's a warning out there, because this cannot stand in this state. And the people that help with passing it, they should... I can't say it, but anyway, thank you.
Candy, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Do we have time to take another call, do you think?
Let's try, yeah.
Okay, Mike, my good buddy Mike, we've got to get 2 minutes, sir. Go for it.
Oh, Johnny boy, the pigs are calling for you to come and join them on the farm.
Oh, my gosh.
Congratulations, John. My best wishes.
Well, I will tell you, I don't know if you heard me say this earlier this morning, but Mr. Tester, as far as I know, has not yet conceded the election officially to Mr. Sheehy, because it's a pretty close vote, and, there's still many, many precincts and counties to be counted. So he's probably going to wait until it's officially over.
well, the pigs can relax for a time, only. Yeah, that was a wonderful experience. We stayed up and watched the whole thing, and it was fabulous. All right, I'll let you go. Thanks.
Okay, buddy. It's good to talk with you, and our best to Wendy, too. So, yeah, go ahead.
Real quick news. We're going to have the governor join us at 9:30 for about 10 minutes.
Cool.
We'll be here from 9:30 to 9:40, so stay tuned for that, obviously. But we're still going to be doing open phones all the way until 9:30, and then after, we did reach out, just so everyone's aware, to Ryan Zinke. Apparently, his team said he was up until about 4 a.m., so he's probably still sleeping a little tired, but we'll try to get him on the air as soon as we can to chat with you guys, obviously. And I've also reached out to Austin Knudsen's team and James Brown's team to see if maybe they have time to come on real quick this morning in the 9 o'clock hour. But we want to still talk to you guys. Open phones. If you already called, feel free to call back and call again if you have more to share, or surprised, not surprised. I mean, obviously a lot of things are happening. So, yeah, we want to hear from you. All the lines are open right now. So when we take this break, let's fill them up.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. You have the opportunity to fill those phone lines up. We have like 7 or 8 or 9 lines now with our new phone system. So if you didn't get a chance to get in, make those phones ring up. 721-1290 is our number, 1-800-568-5309. Or if you don't have a phone, if you're too far away, you can use the KGVO app, and we hope you will. Stay with us. More coming up. Another hour of Talkback on the way.
This is Talkback, 721-1290 or 1-800-568-5309.
This is Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and 98.3 FM. KGVO, Missoula's news and weather station.
Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 of Talkback for this post-election edition of Talkback. Talkback this morning is brought to you by Harrington Surgical Supply, where appointments are preferred for mastectomy fittings and custom compressions, but walk-ins are always welcome. Also brought to you by Y West Storage out at the Y on 2 Smokes Way. Need storage? Call 406-510-0590 because they're making room for you. Phillips Janitorial does both home and business cleaning, and no job is too big or small for Phillips. Their number, 406-260-6617, and by 123 Seamless Gutters. And let them handle everything that has to do with gutters so you don't have to bother with it. Call 406-240-2669, protecting the foundation of your future.
The views and opinions expressed on Talkback are not those of the staff, management, or advertisers.
Okay, we are back. Nick Christensen right over there. Good morning, Mr. Nick.
Good morning.
Hour number 2 continues, and the phones are still lighting up. But right now, we want to take just a moment to say congratulations to a very sleepy but happy Congressman Ryan Zinke. Ryan, good morning and congratulations.
Well, good morning. It was a great night. I think it was a great night for Montana. Montana was able to see through the vicious attacks and focus on policy and getting things done. So very, very proud of Montana for making the right decisions. And then nationally, we're going to have the House. I think we're pretty confident we'll have the House. It'll be close. Of course, we advanced in the Senate with Tim Sheehy. Great news on that. And President Donald J. Trump is 47, so a good night overall.
So now, as we move forward, obviously you're into your second term now, and of course, second chance there in the House of Representatives. So, what are your plans? Do you have an agenda of things you'd like to tackle aside from trying to get people back together and get back to work?
Well, obviously the border, the economy, Montana, our rural infrastructure. As I wander around the state and talk to county commissioners, I, as well as Montana, should be concerned about our sewer systems, our road systems, bridges, our rural fire departments. And the federal government takes care of their roads, and one can say not as good as they should. The state does the same, but really the counties are really hurting on infrastructure. And just to name a few, you have Knudsen Bridge out there. You have no sewer system in Sealy. I can 100 bridges out there, but a lot of the counties are scraping together nickels and they have some challenges. And it's hard to have affordable housing when you don't have a water or sewer system. So I'm going to focus on talking to county commissioners and getting some things done at that level, which would be great for Montana.
Ryan, Nick here. I wanted to ask you, what do you think it's going to be like working with Troy Downing and getting that second seat and another voice for Montana?
Well, there's 3 combat veterans and a son of a Marine. That's a pretty good lineup there. And I've known Troy a long time. He works tirelessly hard. And he did a great job as a state auditor, it was a tough role. And I look forward to him being a great voice in the House, and he'll be instantly, I think, one to talk to and get advice about crypto, finance, those type of things, which he has an enormous amount of experience in. So he'll be a welcome addition.
Well, Ryan, I just wanted to get you on the air and let you acknowledge the fact that so many people voted for you to get you back into your 2nd District congressional seat. Congratulations, sir.
Well, thank you. And as a representative, you represent everybody. So you represent those that voted for you, and you represent those that don't vote for you, and you represent those that will never vote for you. So as a representative, let's look at what's important in Montana. We know we have problems, but you can't fix them with a lot of anger. Anger is a distraction. So I'm hoping Montana and the country will get together and focus on the issues at hand, and we'll get them done.
Excellent. Ryan, thank you so much for calling this morning. I know you're very tired. Get some rest. And again, best of luck to you, sir.
And thank you. I look forward to being on Talkback again. And, I always love taking calls.
Yes, sir. We'll get you on. Thank you.
Trust me. We're gonna take you at your word on that. All right, let's get one more call in before we need to take a break. Mr. Wingnut, go ahead. You're on Talkback. What's up?
Well, good morning again. One thing I really admire about Emmett is he has an amazing stream of consciousness that I deeply admire and wish my verbal skills were once again what they used to be. But I wanted to talk about C-128 and the folks who've called disheartened about it, and I also am disheartened about the turnout of the CI-128. But to remind folks that, irrespective of what the law says, that it is and always will be a battle for the hearts and the minds of the people who are affected by abortion, and that irrespective of what the law, that the hope to change the hearts and minds of people to their infants, to the children, that remains unchanged. So don't get too over concerned about how it all turned out. Take heart. God is in control, and we all can be changed and come to repentance, and our hearts can be turned to good things. That's my comment on 128.
Appreciate it, sir. We're going to come right back. We'll take a quick break. We have Joe and Emmett both standing by. And by the way, we have at least 5 or 6 phone lines open now. If you tried to get in last hour and it was totally full, now is your opportunity if you'd like to vent or praise or say thank you or yippee or whatever.
Boo-hoo.
Or boo-hoo. Doesn't matter. We are here to take your calls. This is your chance to talk a little bit and be a little bit cathartic about what happened last night during the election. So let's get those phone lines ringing at 721-1290. We'll be back right after this timeout.
Call 123 Seamless. Dennis Bragg with your weather. Mostly sunny after a very cold start on Wednesday morning as we eventually warm to a chilly 38 degrees. But then for the rest of the week, some crisp mornings and cool days with sun as high pressure establishes over the northern Rockies. Thursday, another cold start with lows in the lower 20s, the upper teens in the outlying areas. And we begin to see some increasing clouds Friday evening with clouds and sun, and then an increasing chance of rain during the Grizz game Saturday night. Rain and snow back on Sunday.
All right, we are back. This is Talk Back. It's a special response show to last night's election day. And so we have folks waiting on the line right now. This is Joe, who's been waiting the longest. Joe, good morning, sir. You're on Talk Back. Please go ahead.
Thanks for having me. I think that the media, the fake news and all of that is the most interesting thing to me as the outcome, because I was relying on Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara for their insights into the polling, and they were always citing the most accurate pollsters of the last two elections, as their sources for their positions. But I listened to the BBC and the Morning Edition, and they all said how close a race this was going to be. It was just going to be so close. And to me, it looks like a landslide, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
For Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm not surprised. I didn't listen to them because they've been lying about so much, and it's just, that's my take from the whole thing, is the most important aspect. But I'll say this, that whole debacle about NPR, and I used to be a big fan of NPR back in my more liberal days, but they had a big problem with the whistleblower, if you remember, and he was put on leave, and then he resigned, and then they interviewed the CEO, and I can only paraphrase what she said, but truth was not the overall objective of NPR, and so I think NPR should be defunded very strongly, because they obviously have every right as a journalistic organization to report how they want, but not with taxpayer dollars.
All right.
So the Washington Post, look at what's going on there too. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call. We do have James Brown joining us on the phone right now. Mr. Brown, good morning and congratulations, sir.
Thank you. It is a good morning. That was quite a night, both in terms of nationally and Montana in terms of history. I'm pleased to be the auditor-elect for the state of Montana this morning.
Well, I know that you have some pretty big shoes to fill with Troy Downing now in Congress. So, what are your plans? Obviously, the glow of victory is wonderful, but now it's time to get feet on the ground and get to work.
Yeah, that's well said. In fact, I talked to Troy this morning, and we talked a little bit about transitioning the office as he gets ready to go into the United States Congress. I congratulated Troy on running the auditor's office in such a professional manner, and I hope to do the same as his successor. And like we talked about last time I was on the show, my number one goal is to get the agency out into Montana and make the agency more accessible for Montanans, particularly in rural parts of the state and on Native American reservations, so that people understand the consumer protection role of the agency.
Well, there's so much that your office has to deal with as state auditor, because you have to deal with the securities, and you have to deal with insurance, and there's so many aspects of that position that's got to keep you a lot of balls to keep juggling in the air.
Yeah, that's really well said. I was taking a look already this morning as to the draft bills that are being dropped in to the legislature for the 2025 session. There are going to be a number of bills that impact the agency, not the least of which, of course, is the Medicaid expansion renewal that the legislature will surely take up. And what we're looking at, and what I'll look at, is what that means in terms of the impact of private insurance coverage in Montana. And as you stated, with the growing propensity for fraud in the securities area, billions of dollars in fraud, that's going to be a huge issue for us to tackle.
And I do know, Mr. Downing, every now and then we would do a story together about some institution or individual that ran afoul of the state auditor's office, and there was some big time punishment going on.
Oh, yeah. Well, the auditor's office is a criminal justice agency first and foremost. Most people don't realize that. They just think of the role of regulating insurance and securities. But, Troy's put together a really good team in terms of prosecuting fraudsters, both in terms of the investigation and the prosecution side. I'll continue the great work that he has done there.
Any final words before we let you go? I know you must be pretty tired after a long night last night. Any words to our listeners?
Well, it was a great night last night. One of the reasons that I ran for this office, which we discussed on your show, is that Montana has been very good to my family for over 100 years. And the The reason I ran for this office is because I have a skill set that I believe I can give back to Montanans and make us all prosperous and keep Montana the Montana we all love.
You bet. Now, tell you what, I want you to hang on the line for just a second, and we're gonna take another call here. Should we go ahead and do that, Nick, or what do you think? What's that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let's take another call. This is Brad. Brad, good morning, sir. You are on Talkback. Go ahead, please.
Jim, I just wanted to
you guys taking the call, and congrats to Jim Brown, the rest of the statewide officers who either won or retained a position. One of the things I want to bring up is the fact that because of the unscrupulous and devious and underhanded actions of the Democrat members of the Montana Districting and Reapportionment Committee, who set the new boundaries for precincts and for House and Senate seats, Missoula County, perhaps for the first time in the history of our state and our county, was shut out of any positions representing the Republican point of view. So Missoulians are now without a voice at the state level, as well as without a real voice at the city and county level. And for people out there who are, glowing in the after effects of the federal win for the presidency and the office of Senate and any of the statewide offices, we need to take a look, Missoula, at where we're at right now. We elected a socialist for county commissioner again in Sputnik, and we haven't gained anything at the city and county, and now we've lost a voice at the state level. So we have work to do as a community to gain some power back, because for the next 9 election cycles, Missoula very likely will have no chance at winning any races, because the closest race we had a shot at wound up being a 56-44 loss. So that's something important. And by the way, there are a lot of races that were lost by that same margin across the state. So I'm just saying there's some things that are inconsistent. But anyway, Missoula, we need to get to work on gaining our voice back at the state level, because right now we are 0-17, and that doesn't bode well for the conservatives in Missoula. So thank you, gentlemen. Brad, thanks for the call. We're going to come right back. We have Jeff and Emmett and some other folks waiting to visit with us as well. Phone lines are open. We're also expecting a call from the governor here pretty quick to talk about his victory last night. So all that's coming up on this special edition of Talkback post-election. We'll be back right after this.
Montana State News Network.
I'm Dennis Bright. GOP Senate hopeful Tim Sheehy remains in the driver's seat as the final votes continue to be tallied in Montana's U.S. Senate race, while it remains to be seen whether incumbent John Tester can pull off another large county-driven comeback as he has in the past. As of early this morning, Sheehy had nailed a 38,000-vote lead over the Big Sandy Democrat, a margin of 53% to 45%. The margin had been even larger until some 40,000 ballots joined the total from Missoula County, where Tester was picking up nearly 66% of the vote. Tester was also leading in Bozeman and Butte, which have given him victories before, but trailing in Great Falls and the Flathead. Predictably, he was trailing a 56 to 41% in Billings. For his part, Sheehy thanked Tester in his remarks early this morning, pledging service and unity.
To those who did not vote for me, I will also serve you, just like I did in the military. I took an oath to serve all Americans, and I'll take an oath here to serve all Montanans. So I will earn your vote in the future. If you didn't vote for me, I will work to earn your support in future elections, because we have to save this country. And to save it, we got to come together and figure out how to heal this country. We have to disagree better, and we got to actually move forward and stop arguing about everything. We got to make some progress.
We'll be expecting to hear from Senator Tester sometime this morning. The Senate race brought the only real competition of the night as Ryan Zinke was beating Monica Trinnell for the Western Montana House seat, and Republican Troy Downey was declared an early congressional winner in the East. Governor Greg Gianforte declared victory early, capturing nearly 60% of the vote over Ryan Bussey.
Finally, I want to thank all Montanans for their continued trust and support. Tonight I reaffirm to you that I will continue to serve all Montanans, because I truly believe we have more in common than separates us.
Secretary of State Christy Jacobson and Attorney General Austin Knudsen held a similar margin of victory in their races. This is the Montana State News Network.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Oh, we are back on Talkback. 721-1290 is our number. Nick Christensen over there taking your phone calls this morning. His fingers are swollen now. He's answering so many phone calls. All right, let's get Jeff on the line. Jeff, good morning, sir. You're on Talkback. What's on your mind?
Are we on mute, Jeff?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Jeff.
I bet we're on mute. Jeff, call.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, there he is.
Sorry. Yeah.
One of those mornings.
I know the medicine kicked in, but go ahead, Jeff. What's up? What's on your mind?
Coffee, yeah. I know. Four quick things. First thing I'd like to say is I think Kamala Harris has a new nickname because she had her watch party at Howard University. She's an alumni there, and she did not have the ovarian fortitude to come out and actually talk to her supporters. She sent out a campaign advisor, a senior campaign advisor, to talk to them. And so, in my mind, that's just kind of an act of cowardice. It kind of sums up her entire campaign. She has no connection with people. You know, she didn't have the courage to go out. She had to do that. So that's the first thing. Second of all, Dave the Downer gave me some good pointers. I didn't realize that Trump was such a lawbreaker. And so I'm actually looking forward to learning from him over the next 4 years on how to break the law. I think he's going to give us a lot of good pointers. And I'm willing to join his army to overthrow the republic. But the thing is, I don't know what uniform to get. I'm torn between the fascist uniform and the Nazi uniforms. The fascist seems more inclusive, but the Nazi uniforms, simple black is kind of stylish. So I don't know. Do you guys have any opinion on which uniform I should get?
No,
to join the army
absolutely
of the revolution?
not.
No. I think there's a 10-foot pole involved here. So
and a tongue in a cheek somewhere.
Yeah, and my tongue is firmly in my cheek as I say that.
Right. All right. Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks.
So I want everybody to know that. Well, one last thing, real quick.
Okay.
Gasoline went down this week in price. So Ted is no longer always right. Last week he said this is the lowest we'll ever pay for gas. It's going to just go up from now. And it's down this week. So I just want to welcome Ted to the community of fallibles that we all are. We're all fallible human beings capable of error. And welcome, Ted.
Well, it was a bad week to claim that, too, because I reported that it was our biggest drop so far this year this week. So not only was that a little wrong, but it was very wrong because, it dropped like 8.4 cents this week. So yeah.
Yeah, and just, hubris. I'm not a stranger to hubris in my life. I've been pretty arrogant at times, and so humility is a hard pill to swallow, but it's something we all need to learn. So,
last time I had hubris, it gave me indigestion. But anyway,
there you go.
But hey, listen.
Yeah, did you put it on crackers?
No, it was on toast. But anyway,
okay.
Jeff, thanks for the call. Yeah, I'm sure I'll answer for that. My wife said, "What were you talking about? My cooking?"
Busted.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry, honey. It wasn't chocolate chip cookies and it wasn't brownies. Tell you what, we are expecting a call here in just a moment from Governor.
Let's take one more.
One more call?
Real quick with
all
that.
right,
Just real
Emmett,
quick.
Emmett, quickly, you're on Talkback. What's up?
Thanks. I did forget to mention one kind of a sad thing.
on this jubilant morning. We forgot Trump is going to be sentenced. Isn't he due to be sentenced on the 18th by that judge in New York? He might go to prison. Have you heard any more about that?
I have heard that with his election win, that many of those cases and problems will somehow magically, not necessarily disappear, but be taken care of in one way or another. But that's just what I've heard. I don't know for a fact.
Well, I hope so, because wouldn't it be horrible if this awful judge decided to sentence him to prison? I guess J.D. Vance would take over and probably pardon Trump.
No, he just pardoned. He just pardoned himself.
Yeah, good point. I hope so, because the enemies of Trump are still going to be out to get him. They'll probably. I don't know if there are going to be any more impeachments, because I don't know what the House is going to happen. But just pray for Trump. Pray for his family, because we're still in a spiritual warfare.
All right. Emmett, thanks for the call. We're up against a break. We're going to come right back. Hopefully, when we get back, we'll have Governor Greg Gianforte joining us on the phone right after this quick timeout.
Smiles are powerful. A simple smile can light up a whole room. And for 25 years, Smile Train has been lighting up the world with smiles. And each smile marks a step towards a brighter future. As the world's largest cleft lip and palate charity, Smile Train has supported more than 2 million life-changing cleft surgeries in over 90 countries, leaving a legacy of resilience, joy, and beaming smiles for generations of children. To learn more about cleft lips and palates and how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community all over the world, please visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, lighting up the world with smiles for 25 years.
We are back on Talkback, and we are privileged to have with us on the phone right now Greg Gianforte, elected to a second term as Montana's governor. Greg, good morning and congratulations, sir.
Well, Peter, thank you very much. Just today, I'm just so thankful for the continued opportunity to serve this great state, and I just appreciate the confidence that the Montanans have placed in me.
So off we go. I realize it's kind of time to take a day off and relax and enjoy the victory. I know you have family in town, but as it comes to a second term, do you have certain goals and things that you want to accomplish in this second term, aside from another 56 county tour?
Well, of course. I think I ran on a very simple commitment. One is more good paying jobs so our kids don't have to leave, and protect the Montana way of life. And we did what we said we were going to do in the first term. We lowered taxes. We reduced regulation. We got our economy going. We unwound the pandemic. But there are still rocks in the rock pile. We've got to do permanent property tax relief. I think we can get the tax burden lower so that more people keep more of what they earn. And my goal, as I said last night at the rally in Bozeman, our goal is to make the American dream more attainable for all Montanans. And I think that there's much more that we share in common than separates us. And I've made a point through my first term to bring people together. And my commitment to Montanans is I'm going to do that again in my second term.
I do know that with the upcoming legislature, you have already, you and the legislatures and the Republican majority have come up with certain bills and ideas that I know that every single property owner in the state is going to be watching with bated breath what the legislature is going to do about property taxes.
Well, it's important. This is why we put this bipartisan task force together that I assembled, and they came up with about 12 recommendations. The biggest one is a homestead exemption. I'm pretty excited about this. It would allow Montana homeowners and on their primary residence to pay a lower rate. Renters would get a lower rate, and there'd be a benefit for small businesses. So the question is, how do you pay for that? Well, out-of-staters with second homes here would pay more, and it would shift the burden of property taxes. There's a number of other reforms there. Well, we'll have dialogue with the legislature and see what we can build consensus around. And I'm confident that we'll be able to act in a meaningful way to lower property taxes for Montana residents.
One thing that I remember is just after you first took office, you told a story that has stuck with me, and that is everything on your desk was in order, and so you decided just to wander around the capital area for a little bit and introduce yourself to folks, and you walked into the Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks office and walked up to a gentleman's desk, and he looked up and he said, "Hi, I'm Greg Gianforte. I'm the governor." And I believe what he said was, he says, "Governor, I've been working in this building for 30 years, and a governor has never set foot in this building before."
Yeah, and I've continued that. That's what you do in the private sector. It's called managing by wandering around. And I get to every agency twice a year. And it's a chance to say thank you. We have great state workers. But what I found when I came into office, it was sort of like we had put the football team on the field, but hadn't told them where the end zone was. And when you don't know where the end zone is, it's really hard to score points. So I think that a couple things are important in leadership. One is you have to have, first, the right people in the right seats. But secondly, you have to have real clarity of mission. This is why every agency now has a single-page strategic plan with specific objectives. We update those every 6 months. Somebody's name is next to each one, so we have accountability. And what that does is it makes the goalposts very clear to everybody. And then when you put the ball in the end zone, you can celebrate the success. And whether it's opening up more access to public lands or lowering the tax rate or getting rid of red tape, we have something in common that we can celebrate.
Now, the one thing that I really wanted to ask you about today, we have just a few minutes left in our time together, and I know you had a very long night, a very long day today, but there are several bills that the legislature had passed in 2021 and also in the most recent legislature that have been put in limbo by the Montana Supreme Court. And I don't know, is there any way of resurrecting those or trying to get them back, because they were passed by the state legislature and by the people of Montana, and the folks of the Supreme Court said no, those are wrong?
Well, I share your concern, particularly around election integrity. I signed 4 election integrity bills into law. The Supreme Court said they were unconstitutional. I think they're wrong. One of them said you need a photo ID to vote. I think we should know who's voting, be able to verify. A photo ID is the easiest way to do that. Everyone has a driver's license. And secondly, I signed a law that said same-day voter registration was not going to be allowed. You had to register by the 5 p.m. the day before. We saw it in Bozeman last night. The polls, there were still people in line way past 8 o'clock because all these first-time voters were showing up. Wanting to register. They were mostly MSU students, and it means the returns from Gallatin County were significantly delayed. We have voting for an entire month. Is it really that hard to come down to the courthouse sometime during that month-long period and register? So we have a new Chief Justice in Corey Swanson. That means there's going to be new leadership at the Supreme Court. In these particular cases, we're going to look at the bills that were overturned by the Supreme Court. I personally feel wrongly overturned because they were legislating. And let's see if there's something in the dissent that could be incorporated into the bill that we can rerun that bill and put it in front of a new court, and let's see what the decision is.
Is there now once a bill is passed, just how it goes with the legislature? Once a bill is passed, it cannot be revised or altered without going through the whole legislative process again. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So we'd have to have a new bill. Let's say we decided that we really want photo IDs to vote. We want to verify that people are who they say they are before they cast their ballot. We might be able to modify that bill slightly, run it as a new initiative, have to pass the House, the Senate. I would sign it into law. If it got challenged again, it would go in front of the Supreme Court again. But we have a new Chief Justice in Corey Swanson. I was really had a chance to visit with him this morning. Thrilled that he prevailed in his race, and that might be the difference.
All right, sir, I realize we want to be faithful with our time today. Anything else you'd like to add before we let you go and rest a little bit?
Well, it's really just gratitude. Gratitude to the people of Montana for the confidence that they've placed in me. Know that I always put Montana's interests first. My door's open. I want to make sure every voice is heard, and then we'll do what's right. And ultimately, the goal is how do we help Montanans prosper while protecting our way of life.
Well, again, congratulations to you and your staff and your family, and we look forward to another 4 years of working together, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Peter and Nick.
Thank you.
Take care, sir. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come right back. 721-1290 is our number, 1-800-568-5309. We have a couple of folks waiting on the phone. We have Dave on the line, as well as Jerry, and several other phone lines open. If there's something you'd like to talk about from last night's election, that's what this show is dedicated to, your thoughts and your responses to last night's election. We'll be back right after this.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Open Phones on Talkback, but we are primarily dealing with your reactions and your feelings regarding last night's election. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Are you thrilled? Are you shocked? Give us a call, 721-1290, and we have some folks waiting. Brian, thank you for holding, sir. You're on Talkback. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to say how happy I was to see that Trump won. And to our favorite Democrat that calls in every day and makes sure that we all know how racist and how Nazi-like we all are. To another 4 years, him having something to say. I was a little worried that if Trump lost, he wouldn't have anything to talk about.
KGVO, this is...
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah. Nope, that's it. Have a good one.
All right, thanks for the call. 721-1290 is our number, 1-800-568-5309. And I believe, we
have Jerry.
We have Jerry on the line right now. Jerry, good morning. You're on Talkback. What's up, sir?
Well, thank you for letting me talk again. I usually don't like to call in more than once a day or a time, but I wanted to let people know what the Missoula County results are, because Missoula County certainly does not represent Montana, and I'll give you some quick reviews. Harris was 59% to Trump's 37%. Tester was 66% to Shee's 33%. Trinnell was 61%. Zinke was 36%. Bussey was 60%. Gianforte was 38%. Jesse James Mueller for the Secretary of State, 56%. Christy Jacobson, 41%. And it goes on down the line. And it's pretty obvious that Missoula electors don't represent the state of Montana.
Well, now hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute. We live here. Missoula is a bright blue spot in a deep red state, and it's always been that way. It's probably never going to change. So, we just have to try to work together, try to find ways that we can agree. There are, it's always, it's never very helpful to throw darts or whatever, or mud or whatever on people who disagree with you. If we can find a way to agree on stuff, I think that's a whole lot better way to work.
Well, sad to say I don't agree with you. When you see the results and how drastic they are counter to the whole Montana, I'm glad I live in the state of Montana, but I'm not sure that I'm glad I live in the city of Missoula. So thank you and goodbye.
All right, thanks for the call. I believe Doug is up next. Doug, good morning. You're on Talkback, sir. What's up?
Well, good morning. I have a conundrum that I don't think has been brought forward or considered.
Okay.
And that is with the passage of 128. That is a now constitutional standard that is in direct conflict with God's law. How, going forward, are Christian elected officials supposed to be able to complete their oath of office? They are going to be forced to choose between upholding the law or bowing to man's law. And I think honestly, I think that the proponents of this knew that and calculated that. And that's why they brought this forward as a constitutional initiative rather than some other form of legislation. So that is my question. If we are still a Christian country, which whether we agree with it or not, we are, we now have a state within the Christian country that is forced to violate God's law and swear allegiance to man's law. That's a conundrum.
Well, it's a lot to think about, and I think that Montana, of course, is not the only state of the 50 states that is having that discussion, and it's something that we're going to be talking about and working over, and hopefully working through together, because we can throw stones at each other all we want, and now it's part of our Constitution. So there's got to be a way for us to find a way through this.
God's law or man's law. That's a pretty black and white sword, Peter.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the call. We appreciate it, sir. Let's get Bill on the line. Bill, good morning, sir. You're on Talkback. What's up?
Good morning, Peter. Thank you. Just two quick comments. I watched Dan Bongino's world record-breaking podcast last night. That was exciting. And secondly, what a joy it was watching NBC news coverage last night. All the pundits there, they were just squirming in their seats. They just couldn't stand. It was killing them to have to give these Trump's rising numbers climbing to victory, and it was a joy to watch. So just want to say that's a great day for America.
And such as it is in every election, there are news organizations that are obviously pro this or pro that, and when somebody else is in the lead, they have to report that as well. That's part of being having journalistic integrity. This is what happened. Here you go. Regardless of our feelings, these are the facts. So there you go. Anyway, 721-1290 is our number, 1-800-568-5309. We appreciate the call. I believe we have time to get Ed's call on. Let me see if I can get that for you here. Ed, good morning. You're on Talkback, sir. What's up?
Hey, good morning. I want to bring something up in the case of Ryan Zinke versus Trinnell. It may sound kind of mean, but this illustrates, I think, the Peter principle. Now, different Peter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the Peter principle has it that as a person works their way up in a business hierarchy, they reach a point where they can't do the job anymore.
They are promoted to their level of incompetence. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think Zinke's opponent level of incompetence is a candidate and is not getting promoted to candidate-elect. And I'm just really curious. I know it takes tenacity, but for crying out loud, at what point in time is one going to stop running for for an election.
Well,
anyway,
I will tell you this, Ed. We've had Monica Tranell in our studio numerous times, and you have to admit it takes a lot of courage for her to come into our studio, strap on those headphones, take calls, mostly opposing her, and stand there and try to explain her position. You have to respect that. That is courage, and I give her 100% effort for that. So she obviously believes in the things that she was fighting for. The election is over, and now she has to go and do whatever it is she's going to do from here on in. But I give her that. She's got all the respect for people to come in here and take calls from folks like you. It's not easy, and she did it. So we're going to come right back. We have a 1-minute timeout, and it looks like we have Austin Knudsen waiting on the line. So we're going to come right back in 1 minute and talk with Austin.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Join a club near you. Offer ends November 13th.
See Home Club for details.
Okay, we are back. This is Talk Back. Only about 7.5 minutes left in our time together. These 2 hours have just flown by, and we want to welcome Austin Knudsen joining us here on the phone. Austin, good morning, sir, and congratulations on your reelection.
Well, thank you. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Nick.
All right.
And good morning, Missoula.
Yeah, tell us about your night last night. How did that go?
Well, it was a great night. It was a great night for Montana. It was a great night for America. We had a great time. We had a little election party over in Bozeman. My apologies to the Grizzlies, but we hung out in Bobcat territory.
All right.
Well, when in Rome, all that good stuff, right? Yeah. So tell us.
Absolutely.
You've got another term here as the Attorney General. Obviously, there's some things that need fixing, but tell us about your plans going forward.
Well, I mean, this changes everything, right, guys? I mean, a big part of my administration has been pushing back on Joe Biden for the last 4 years. We've had a lot of stuff coming out of Washington, D.C. Frankly, I'm really looking forward to that changing. I think it's probably going to take President Trump a little bit of time to get his hands around that monster in Washington, D.C., but I think we in Montana can look forward to a much more friendly administration. I think you're going to see a lot fewer lawsuits out of my office against the feds, which is good. We can focus our attention on state issues. We can focus on crime and drugs. Guys, the southern border, we've talked about it a lot, but President Trump, I think, is really serious about getting a handle on the southern border. That's going to mean less drugs. That's going to mean less crime in Montana. This is all good stuff.
Now, the struggles that you've had the last couple of months, are they resolved now? Or is everything okay now, or what?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, we've got a recommendation to the state Supreme Court, but there's been a big shakeup there. Corey Swanson is going to be the new incoming Chief Justice. We're not sure what that means, frankly. So no, that's still ongoing. But I think this is a strong message. Look, guys, I won re-election by 20 points. People in Montana didn't just speak; they shouted from the rooftop.
You bet.
So that's where we are.
So plans are looking forward now. Obviously, there are some things that you want to do. The legislative sessions coming up. What kind of things do you propose for them?
Guys, this session is going to be all about law enforcement for me. We've got to shore up the ranks of the Montana Highway Patrol. I've been talking with the budget director. I've been talking with legislators about Montana Highway Patrol pay and retention. It isn't the flashiest issue, but look, inflation's real. I got troopers that can't afford to live in Missoula. They can't afford to live in Bozeman. They can't afford to live in Kalispell. That's something that there's only so much I can do. I have to have budget from the legislature. So that's a big one. The Montana Law Enforcement Academy. We've got one law enforcement academy in Montana. And it's been neglected a little bit. We need some help. We need some infrastructure. We really need a shooting range out there. We don't own a shooting range where we train all of our officers. So there's a handful of things like that. But like I said, it's going to be all about law enforcement.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add before we let you go? I know you had a very long night and lots of celebrating yet to do.
Well, I just want to thank your listeners, thank the people in Montana. Guys, I'm looking forward to 4 more years of talking with you all and being in the studio and talking to your listeners.
Always love having you here, sir. We appreciate it. And listen, best of luck. Get some rest.
Doing fine. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Austin.
Take care. All right. We got about a couple of minutes left. I believe Sandy is up next. Sandy, we got about 3 minutes. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. I will be super quick. I just wanted to say congratulations to everyone who won. I'm super happy, way happier than I was in 2020 about all the success that we got this year for the governor, the state seats, the presidential race. I know that Senator Hertz won up in the Valley, and I worked with him on the property tax task force, and he's great to keep retaining on for our Senate. Disappointed in some local races, but I usually am in Missoula County, but I'm really proud of everybody who ran. They gave it their best, and I'm really proud of the voter turnout. I hope that everyone keeps up this momentum next year when it's not a presidential race. I'm always a little bit disappointed in off-year elections, so I hope that everybody gets out next year as well. And I'll leave it at that. I got to get to work. We're discussing the city purchasing Southgate Crossing this afternoon.
All
so
right.
If anybody has any feelings about that, we're doing that at 1:40.
All right. Well, it's always a pleasure talking with you, Sandy, and thank you for the work you do with the City Council and being so accessible to us. We appreciate it, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, Peter. You're the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's get Kevin on the line. Kevin, you're going to wrap things up for us. Got about a minute and a half. Go ahead.
Kind of curious about the abortion initiative. Does that verbatim go into the Montana Constitution, or will it have to be approved by the legislature? And is it legal? Can it be challenged? I just don't. I wonder about that, because what if we passed? The folks in Montana. This is an absurd thing to say, but what if we passed slavery? Does that mean the mob rule in Montana has to put that into the Constitution? I don't know. I'd just like to know.
Well, I will say that document could not have been put forward as a constitutional amendment without going through all sorts of vetting to make sure that it was legal and proper before it got put on the ballot. So whether you agree or disagree with the intent of the constitutional amendment, it wouldn't have gotten on the ballot had it not passed muster in that respect. That's my thought.
So it can still be challenged, though.
That's a very good question. It would be have to go before the Montana Supreme Court, and they have already made their thoughts pretty clear on that particular subject.
Well, okay. I mean, it just seems interesting to be able to change the Constitution in such a manner.
Well, that's why it was made a constitutional initiative, because they wanted it to be in the Constitution. And so now it is.
I understand that. I understand that. It's just that my point is that the absurdity of how things can be inserted into this, even if it is approved, I just find it interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it works its way out.
We are out of time. Thank you so much for your call. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Nick as we talk about what's coming up on tomorrow's show, sir.
Yeah, we'll have the Montana World Affairs Council tomorrow with Bob Seidenschwartz and a special guest. The guest will be on from 8 to 9:30, and then I think we'll probably kick around some open phones with Bob for that last half hour.
You got it. Get out and enjoy this beautiful day. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 for Talk Back.